Writing your introduction is a bit like writing the abstract. It's a primacy effect, and if it doesn't come across as something interesting and relevant, the paper may be put down at that stage. It's one of the more challenging aspects of the paper. It might not be that long, but to get it into an interesting, concise format, like writing the abstract, is challenging. And it may require a number of rewrites, so don't be frustrated if you don't get it right first time. But let's have a look at some of the key components. Firstly, you want to get across the purpose of the paper. If you don't get this across, why would the reader want to continue? For example, if you're researching the flipped classroom, you might say that the purpose is to look at the impact of using a flipped classroom format to enhance student motivation. Invariably, there will be some theoretical base to what you're doing. For example, if we go back to the flipped classroom, you might be using a flipped approach, but underpinned by an evidence-based teaching methodology. So you might need some key definitions and illustrations at this point in time. Invariably, this will be developed much further in the main body of the research, but it will set the context and the scene for the paper. Possibly some reference to previous work. Now, this would only be a summary, and it needs to be quite poignant, but to show that there is a serious body of research in this area because it's a particularly important area. The scope of the paper, what it covers, the scale, things to enable the reader to see just what the paper is offering. And finally, a bit of a summary of the key sections and what is to follow. So you might be saying in section 1, we're going to do this, etc., etc. Okay, let's move on to some specifics. Now, here's a few tips on how to liven up the introduction, make it more poignant, contextualize it. There's a few key things, and you can combine these, but don't clutter it. Firstly, there might be a big question: is the flipped classroom format the best blended learning approach? Could be posed. You might offer some key statistical evidence. You might say recent research is showing, and it might just be a reference to it, that the flipped classroom is an effective method for enhancing motivation and increasing attainment for certain groups of learners. So that's a possibility. Similarly, a quote from a powerful authority that really crystallizes it. So you might say, John Atty found that and suggests this. You might connect the paper to some known theme or problem issue in the field. For example, the problem might be motivating students in the present Gen Y context. And another good technique, if you've got one, is an anecdote, which is a short kind of narrative or story that will catch the reader's interest in this field. Again, these can be combined, but it needs to be done thoughtfully and not create cognitive overload or complexity.